I'd like to thank the chair and the ranking member. Mr. Hernandez, I'm concerned about the lack of affordable rental housing for extremely low-income families. And experts say that 80% of the families earning below about $30,000 a year pay more than half their income in housing and utilities. And as you pointed out, housing is a platform from which family success can take off. And I agree with that. And yet, our Congress has been moving backwards. There's a shortage of about 7 million affordable rental homes for low-income families, and the House HUD budget bill wouldn't even renew all the vouchers that families are using this year, let alone restore any of the 85,000 vouchers lost to sequestration. So I have a bill out there, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about it. It's called the Common Sense Housing Investment Act, H.R. 1662, that would provide an additional $20 billion a year to affordable rental housing. And if my bill were to pass, what additional funds for Section 8, Housing Trust Fund, Low-Income Housing Tax Credit, and public housing, what would that mean for rural America? And are you familiar with my bill, by the way?
I'm not, sir.
Well, let me just tell you what we would do. We would convert the mortgage interest deduction into a mortgage interest credit. And so it would be 15% mortgage interest would be housing. Mortgages, 500,000, that'll be the cap. So we would, that's essentially how the bill would work.
Great.
And we'd have about $20 billion a year for affordable rental housing. Let me just make this observation. The United States of America spends a whole lot of money on housing. Mostly it's for the well-to-do in the mortgage interest area. We literally subsidize people who don't need it, and we talk about consolidation for people who do. So I guess if we were to convert mortgage interest deduction to a mortgage interest credit, cap it at mortgages of 500,000, 15% mortgage interest credit, we'd have extra money to put into housing.
Sure.
We wouldn't be subsidizing, the incredibly well-to-do anymore, but they still would get something out of it because it would be a mortgage interest credit. What do you think? How would it help rural housing if we had $20 billion more for affordable rental housing?
Mr. Ellison, one of the opportunities we have is the rental assistance we provide for rental housing needs are so high, but our budget allocation is just minimal. So we're barely meeting. So we have lots of folks that are rent burdened, as you've indicated.
Yeah.
They're paying more than their income, which means they have to make other choices. They cannot save for school. They cannot pay for health care or other things, or pharmacy or food. So anything that provides the opportunity for folks to have more discretionary dollars so they can make better choices. So in your bill, you may want to look at where's the rental assistance part. How do you support rental assistance? Because that's a key part for us is rental assistance. We do not do Section 8. We only do rental assistance. And our vouchers are different than HUD's because we believe in a different way to provide assistance to folks in a different way.
Right.
So without reading your whole bill completely, I think it would provide some assistance to us provide more services to folks in rural America that need help.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, there are more than, I guess, I think you might have pointed out already that you have loans on more than 11,500 properties representing nearly 333,000 units that'll mature by the year 2024, and many may be lost, and you provide housing to families on wait lists, assist with oversubscribed 515 program.
It's true.
Yeah.
Mr. Ellison, we have approximately 6 million units where people are overburdened. I mean, they're paying more for their rent than they can afford right now. And they do it because they have a nice place to live. That's what we're trying to do is get Congress to recommit to affordable housing in rural America.
Well, one thing about it, I'm an urban legislator. My family is rural in background. My mother comes from a farm. My grandfather comes from a farm in Georgia. My mother comes from a farm in Louisiana. And I'm from Minnesota. And I could tell you that if you don't provide some sort of a good, solid program in rural America, folks move to the urban area. They leave the housing choice they may want, and it just leads to overcrowding in the urban area. So everyone needs to be about helping rural housing, so people can be supportive. So that's one reason why, in keeping with what Ranking Member Waters said, us urban members are, first of all, a lot of us are directly connected to rural America, but more than that, we want people to be able to live where they want to live. You know, some people like hearing the birds sing out there in rural America, and that's where their livelihood is. So thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you, sir.
Hernandez.